The first MEF commander, Lieutenant General Conway, he decides we're going to make a shift here. He's going to give overall responsibility to the Fallujah Brigade. So the Fallujah Brigade, they're Iraqi guys, and the ultimate goal is to have Iraqis take the city. So not so much as a foreign invader like the United States.
The in air quote foreign invader, right?
Yeah, but unfortunately, this Fallujah Brigade, they're like not as well off and not maybe not capable, but they just fail to achieve the objective. And this is like for them, you know, they fail at something. They have to make a decision. You stick with it, or do I just join the insurgency? And a lot of these guys, they just went on. They take their gear, they take their weapons, they take their buddies.
That they've all been provided by the U.S. government.
All provided by the U.S. and the training. And they just, hey, let's go. We're switching sides. Yeah, we're out of here. And so
let's address that for a minute, because you would think, all right, we were talking about this the other day. We were kind of spitballing this episode. And you would think, like, if, let's just say in some alternate universe, New York was invaded and or insurgency had taken over the city of New York, right? And Great Britain came over to help us regain control of the city.
Right.
And then they decided, hey, we're going to make the New York Brigade, right? And it's going to be y'all's job to get this city under control and keep it under control. I have enough confidence in the citizens of New York that they would be able to do that and not swap sides to the insurgency, right? Like they would be motivated enough to take back their home, right?
Yep. They want the Bronx back. They want Manhattan back. They'll take it.
That's not the case in Iraq. Afghanistan, many times that is the case. We were talking about the difference between Iraqi policemen and Afghan National Army guys. Now, I don't want to blanket everybody in Iraq with this statement, because that's not fair. I'm sure there are some hard-charging Iraqis, right, that were motivated to help coalition forces and their country,
right,
you know, regain control of itself and keep it from these radicalized insurgents. But from my personal experience over there, I would never be confident if I got into a gunfight with an IP, right? Like, IP is supposed to watch my back.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pretend he's not even there. Actually, I'm going to keep an eye on him in case he decides to change sides in the middle of the gunfight. Whereas in Afghanistan, an Afghan National Army guy like Rambo, we had an Afghan National Army guy that we called Rambo because he would wear belt-fed 7.62 cross-bodied around him, like linked ammo around his body.
He wore the bandana. He was like a cowboy, man.
Dude,
he was all about it.
But you know that guy was going to fight with you to the death,
yeah,
right? Like, he had your back. He wasn't going to let you down even when things got tough, right? There's so much behind the back political dealings in Iraq, even when we got there, which is many years after this, that they'll say one thing to you and be doing the exact opposite the minute they leave that meeting, right? Whereas, again, not to blanket everything, but in Afghanistan, I found the opposite to be true more times than not. If an Afghani were to tell you something, they usually meant that, right? Like that's what was going to happen.
I can agree.
So in hindsight, looking at Conway giving control of the city to the Fallujah Brigade, you and I are thinking, mistake right off the bat. But they don't know that yet. This is part of the reason why you and I would know that ahead of time, right?
Right.
Is stuff like this
That's
happening.
pretty early. It took a lot of time to.
But you think about Vietnam and making these South Vietnamese units that would go fight the North Vietnamese, right? And to gain control of an area or take back control of this village or cluster of villages, they would be trusted to do that. For whatever reason, in Al Anbar, that's not the case.